Oh, no, there's a giant asterisk on a document. Oh, anyway, hello, and welcome to this not very professional video, but we'll act like it's professional video, or explaining our new format, or series, I don't know what we're calling it.
Um, that's a very good question. I think this will be something we'll decide later down the track when it actually gets more
Yes.
traction.
I'm just gonna turn you down a bit.
Oh,
Well, you're a bit loud, and I don't want you to give the audience earwax. But anyway, so our new tournament series is called the Yu-Gi-Oh! Casual Circuit, the YCC for short. And, well, Ethan can give you the rundown on what's the focus of it.
well, the focus of the YCC is a series of tournaments designed to promote casual play and unique tech. So we don't really want people to be playing meta or rogue, and we don't really want to keep seeing the same generic meta cards that are played over and over again. Yes, they're good. Yes, we acknowledge that they are a necessary part of the games, but that's not what we're after. We're after the fact that we want interesting things, like how in a certain video, I can't remember which one it was, they played Mischief of the what was it? Mischief of the Yokai or something
Yeah.
in a Cyframe Gamma deck. Like that's interesting. That's sort of what we want. It
Yeah.
works and it's fun.
Yeah.
So
The, the,
that's the main interest of the tournament.
yeah. So, yeah, pretty much, this isn't going to be, like, as hard as. Oh, I hope it won't be as hard, because some people may be familiar with the r slash Yu-Gi-Oh! Non-Meta Tournament series. And to be honest,
Yeah.
after I look at that ban list, they go a little too hard on tampering the decks there. Like, they go meta decks and then they hit all the key cards. Here, we just straight up ban the meta decks. So I guess that's a little bit harder than we should.
No, not really, because like as we'll get into later, we allow engines from those decks. We don't allow the overall deck, like because for obvious reasons,
Hmm.
like some of them are just really powerful. So we acknowledge their
Hmm.
power,
Yeah,
and we want something interesting.
yeah. So anyway, yeah. So for our first circuit, we're mainly just be focusing on just testing it with our friends. We still want to see the rules, what the meta will look like, and adjust our personal ban list appropriately. Because again, our events will be following the most current official ban list by Konami, all the official Konami rules, and of course our own personal ban list at the time of hosting.
Yes, which means we will update it, and which also means we will interchange cards depending on the Konami ban list, depending on the format, so and so.
Yes. So now Ethan will explain Rule 2 to the audience.
Yeah. So no meta slash rogue decks are allowed. Make and if you don't understand what is rogue or meta, of course you just ask us. But also, hang on. Yep, no, that's a different role.
Yeah,
Keep going.
and it's also going to be listed at the bottom of this document you are looking at right now. We'll be updating this over time, of course. We'll once we scroll down, we'll show you what's considered meta and rogue at the time. And don't worry, soon as that deck come is no longer considered meta or rogue, we'll take it off. And for even there's even some rogue decks we won't even consider rogue, even if they are being
Yeah.
played. Like
Oh yeah, absolutely.
we'll get to
Like
examples of that later down the line.
yeah, and we'll also like I mean, we're not just gonna let that deck that came from that status go wild, of course. Like if they are not properly hit or they just fall, if they just fallen out of the meta because of certain decks being played to just counteract them, we might have to do some like tweaking. But outside of that, for the most part, it's should be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, anyway, going in, our third major rule for this is the fact that we put a hard limit on meta staples. If Ethan would love to explain what that is.
Some meta staple is things like Ash Blossom, negations like Imperm, uh, various interrupts of that nature, and also floodgates.
Yes. So pretty much, well, not and not guess floodgates. It depends how much of a staple you would consider them. I mean, if it's not
I mean,
something like Vanity's emptiness, but
yeah, if it's not like if there's not a lot of way of getting around it, then sure.
yeah, we'll probably
But
hit them then. But yeah, but generally, if
for
it's
the most part,
something like Imperm or an Ash Blossom, yeah, we're gonna be putting them as one set. You're only allowed to play that set of meta staples. You're not allowed to put anything else in there unless it's in your side deck. So if you're playing the
and
side in meta staples, you're gonna have to take out that whole set of meta staples and then side in that whole set. You're also not allowed to run stuff like Ash Blossom and Imperm at 2 or 1. You have to play them at 3 or 0.
yeah, this is this rule as it seems confusing. It is to promote more unique tech because some meta decks you look at them and there's like nine different cards that are you know Ash Blossoms, Nibiru, Imperm. So like it's more to just like switch things up a little bit. Like we're not gonna get rid of them entirely because let's be fair, there are some decks that will use that to their advantage and then go absolutely fucking bonkers. We don't want that, but at the same time we don't want oh yeah, Ash, Imperm, Nibiru.
Hmm.
Guess it's my turn now.
Uh, th- yeah, I guess. I forgot because me and Ethan we talked before this what each were going to discuss. I forgot we were going to talk about after this. Was either one talking about pre-release and OCG cards?
No, that was me.
Okay, you go then.
Yeah. Anyway, for this tournament, because it's being played on a simulator, we are allowing pre-release and OCG exclusive cards because, again, we want to make things interesting. It's all about the interesting, not so much about the,
Yeah.
you know,
And a big thing I wanted to
limitations.
do going into this with letting the pre-release and OCG exclusive cards is, well, there's some decks that have cards that are still OCG exclusive that massively benefit from having those cards available, so we tried to allow that. And then you also got the brand new archetypes, like the most recent time of this recording, the amusement archetype, which looks like it could be a very interesting deck. So I wanted to make sure it was legal so people can try it out in a more casual format, and then we'll just decide if it's broken from there or not. But it also allows these people who want to have their voice about these brand new decks get out there first and be out there.
Yeah, rather than having them be like whatever everyone else does, which is
Hmm.
hope for the god that the people on the simulator are all actually playing casual decks and not just some asshole who's floating around on the casual server with competitive deck because there's not a lot of people in the competitive servers.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Wait, I don't even know what you want about there. But yeah, pretty much, don't worry, we'll be making sure all the decks are following our rules because all contestants have to share their deck list to either me or Ethan. Maybe later down the line, some properly organized tournament organizers to help us sort this out because we're only like 2 people
Two people, I mean, we are only looking at an 8 player tournament. For
for
the first
now,
one,
but we don't know how
like,
big we're going to be going for the next one, so.
and it doesn't help that this tournament is being looked at by a YuGiTuber server as being a format that people want to play.
It's a
So,
very small. It's more like indie YouTuber Discord server.
yeah, but still, like,
Yeah, we'll get to that
that's a bigger
sponsorship
list.
later.
That's a like you can still get 48 people out of a bunch of indies.
Yeah, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that sponsorship at the end of the video because that's mainly on my half. So I will talk about that for you if you're curious about that. So yeah, the next big thing is really straight up banning FDKs and loops. Mainly because no one wants to
Oh
sit
yeah,
there so you can do your long ass combo where it's all long and winded. I know there may be some people going, yo, you're pulling KTD, but then you want to ban hand loops and FDKs that are actually creative. I'm like, yes, they are, but another that would conflict with our other objective of having fun. And yet again,
yeah,
is that becomes a one-sided game with no interactions. So, especially because we're putting
yeah,
a hard limit on meta staples, it'll be much harder to hit FDKs and loops. That's why we wanted to hit it.
yeah. it's less about the fact that we're trying to strip away creativity there than we actually still need to have this be fun. Like, I mean, come on. Like, does anyone like being set through an FDK?
No, no, not me, and I don't think anyone else does, except for the people who really just want to win. But yeah, moving on.
But
Ethan, you can talk about the engines.
yep, engines that utilize cards from the list of banned decks are legal as long as they don't make more than 50% of the deck. You can't splash two banned decks together using their engines, however. So that means you can't have Orcross Phantom Knights, as an example,
Mm-hmm.
because those two are on our list. But you can have a Phantom Knight engine in, say, a Spriggan deck.
Hmm. Maybe because
As
say Ethan
again,
can play stupid Fantasy Night Spinning deck.
I'm not playing it though.
Yes, we won't spoil what decks we're playing or what any of the contestants
No,
are playing. So yeah,
no, we won't. But we'll. But that's again. It's more. It's again. So we don't see things like yeah, like the stupid shit. Like there's a lot of stupid shit you could pull off with splashing some of the decks together, and it's not fun.
yeah. So yeah, moving in, we got the official. Well, not the official. It's I guess the YCC ban list. It's our little official ban list. It's not official Konami ban list. But the main
No.
goal with this ban list right now is mainly trying to put a muter on some cards with the limit list, and then hard hitting stuff we know that won't be straight up fun. So straight up banned
Yeah.
for now is Red Eyes Dragoon, All True King of All Calamities, Linkross, Dragon Buster, Destruction Whelp, Utopia
Yep.
Zexal, Mystic Mine, and Artifact Scythe. So we just straight up decide to hit the cards that are either just completely unfair to casual decks, or just are not really fun to play through with. Because
Or they're just locks in general. Because let's be fair, we won't be able to see what people play, like how creative people's decks are if they're going to be locked out of doing their things.
exactly,
Like, I mean, sure you can, like, sure, like there are some creative uses with these cards outside of their like meta usage, but at the same time, it's like we just rather not run the risk than let these things run for free.
exactly. And before we get these sort of comments, I feel like we need to discuss why we haven't hit cards like Needle Fiber, Isod, or Vet Anaconda, and that's mainly because yes they're used in meta decks, but there are casual decks that utilize them for their own combos. Like for example, if you have watched one of my many Destiny Hero videos, you know I use Isod as a main playmaker in that combo, and it really doesn't help achieve much except for me making a stupid OTK board using Destiny Heroes. So I feel like those cards are okay because they're not helping enable
Yeah,
stuns;
and
they're just there to help enable combos, and they mainly are there to be a crutch for these more casual decks.
yeah, and we kind of fixed the problem with those cards mainly as well with this ban list. Like, Needle Fiber isn't too bad if you get rid of Link Cross because how are they going to get to Metal Matchup?
Exactly.
So it's a little bit more fairer, but you still get your Needle Fiber stuff. I mean, yeah, Needle Fiber is still a very powerful card, but we still have a lot of tuners banned at the moment
Yeah.
that would abuse this thing. So
Yeah. I mean, if they
it gets
do
a
end up
pass.
proving to be a very big problem, we could always limit or hit them straight up, but we try not to.
We're avoiding it as much as possible.
Yeah. So going into the limited format, well, the cards that we have decided to limit, there's a bunch of stuff we just didn't want to see. So mainly we're hitting the Water Elemental Lord, one of the six samurai cards, Invoked Mechaba, Skyuja, White Stoner Ancients, Magician Souls, Superpolymerization, hard one to say, Gusidia, Equimax, Chronoglass Sorcerer, Flanking Genghis, so that's the DDD fusion, and Vanity's Fiend. Now, to explain each one, let's begin with the first three. The main reason why
Yeah,
I banned Molitia, the Elemental Lord, is mainly because I did not want people to suffer water hand loops. And I know you need more than 3 copies to make that work, so I decided we're going to limit it to one. If they still find a way to do the water hand loops with Molitia, we'll straight up ban it.
yeah. And the same thing with Legendary 6 Sam, Shania,
Yeah,
because
because it's one of the cards that enables a infinite loop of summoning. So we sort of straight up limit it. It's going to be a lot more harder. Yet again, if it does prove to still be more potent than it is, even at one, we'll straight up hit it.
yeah. And then Invoked Mechaba, this one is less of a loop or a thing. Is the fact is that you can spam Mechaba pretty well, pretty easily with invoked stuff. So I thought, let's hit it to one. That way, people can actually have a chance to not be hit by like two or three of these things.
Exactly, and the just probably the next elephant in the room. The reason why we didn't hit Invocation is mainly because Invoke is an engine that requires to be used in other decks, and we only see the main problem card of the Invoked engine being Mechaba, just because you can just ban them out, as Ethan said. So we think you have only one copy. That's fair, and that's it.
Moving on to Skull Dread, well, that one makes sense. No one likes looping Skull Dread.
Yeah, yeah. And then to cover the Blue Eyes hit and the Dark Magician hit, mainly because the thing is, these decks are always getting constant legacy support. And the thing is, these decks are always like super borderline rogue decks. Like Blue Eyes, we saw Blue Eyes even be meta at some point during Pendulum area because they had the Spirit Dragon. This, both these decks are, always constantly rogue, but always stopped by the top tier meta decks. We feel like if we went going into this format where we ban the meta decks, these two decks would merely be the most powerful decks of the format. So we decided to just
So we,
hamper their powers for now.
for now, because we don't know the true impact of what they can do, but at the same time, like, we know these decks can be really good. So, and then we move on to Super Polymerization. This one makes sense. Like, it's fine at one. Triple Super Poly is hard to work around.
Yeah, and the thing is, one, I didn't really like having triple super poly at 3 because that just gives you a bunch of unreactable outs that you can't stop. I mean, the reason why we're having kaijus as meta stables is because, yeah, again, there's a way around them and they're kind of not necessarily evil. Same with super polarization. So I thought a compromise was to limit it so one is not considered a meta staple, so you can still run it. The same rules do apply to Cold by the Grave, by the way. It does not affect your meta staples. But then you can also have the chance of drawing it, and then that's your go out, well, get out of free jail card.
Yeah.
So now for
Moving on.
the next three hits: Crusadia, Chronograph, and the DD hits. Mainly these are the soft hits, mainly because even though Crusadia is banned under our rules, Ecomax is still generic and still may prove to be quite powerful, so we just decided to limit it just in case, so it's more of a toolbox option anyway. Chronograph is
With
because, yeah, Chronograph we don't know
Chronograph,
is gonna, yeah,
it's the same condition with Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, why we hit DDs and Pendulum Magicians, because, like, yet again, they're very borderline rogue, and we don't know how that's going to affect it. But again, like, these ones, unlike the White Stone of Ancients and Magician's Soul, we're not 100% with them, so they're soft hits now. They're here, so we can have a little taste of what the format's like with them at one. And, like, you can still do your stuff with them, but you can't, like, loop Genghis, so you can't, like, get free um as much resource advantage with Chronograph Sorcerer.
yeah. And we decided to hit Vanity's Fiend because someone threatened to kill me if I didn't ban Vanity's Fiend, so I decided to limit it. And also because I'm very scared of Vanity Fiend's stun, and it might be the only stun card we hit. It depends how powerful stun decks end up in the meta. So
Yeah, because we have no idea
yeah,
what stun decks are gonna do, because, like, they've been non-existent in the metagame for a while. But with our format, this might be different.
exactly. But anyway, moving.
And moving on to the banned decks, let's start off what is considered meta.
Yes,
We have Rockets, especially Dragon Link. We don't want to see Dragon Link, like, I mean, everyone's kind of sick of Dragon Link, to be honest.
yeah,
There's no need to explain it. Then we said Dinosaurs, also banned because Miscellaneousaurus 2 OP, and also, like, it's really hard to out their boss monster.
mm,
Inferno Knights, self-explanatory. Virtual World is kind of the one we were kind of tipsy on because it's like, well, yes, it's new, but at the same time, like, it's already seeing some competitive play, so it's like, eh. We also have Zodiac because Kill Zoo is still a thing and it still does damage.
It's mainly because of
Don't know why.
Trigades. It's mainly because of Trigades in the Infinity Track. The Infinity Track
Yeah,
Link 4.
Link. Yes, which is also something that we will consider for a ban as well.
Hmm.
Because
No, I don't think
even
there's
though I
any
have
other decks that can abuse it unless you want to straight up hit Infinity Tracks.
no, but at the same time, it's a consideration because I have seen it used against me by Gilkey twice in a row. So
Yeah, well, we hit
we'll see.
Zexal, you're not going to get another one. That's because you lose to
Yeah,
it because of
but
Gilkey.
it's fine. Dogmatica, that's also self-explanatory.
Meta.
Now moving on to the rogue hits. We have Phantom Knights, Prank Kids, Crusaders, Mathmex, Unchained, Monarchs, Galaxy Eyes, Cyber Dragons, Subterra, Altergeist, Ulcust, Sky Strikers, Elder Lich, Plunder Patrol, Salmon Grand Mardu, Shadows. Is there anything else we're missing?
Okay, there's two I want to mention. First things first, the reason why Mathmex are listed as Mathmex is it's just a own little personal joke between me and Ethan. And also
Yeah, I spelled it wrong.
a big one. Oh, I like the name Mathmex. But anyway, the big thing I think people I seen mentioned to me is where's the Medolches? Here's the thing. My stance on Medolches is I don't think they can do much. If they, yet again, if they do prove to be too powerful in our meta, I'll move them to Rogue status. Same
Yeah,
will be said with Trickstars, because yet again, some people are like, yo, you should just consider Trickstars as Rogue. I'm like, I don't see them doing anything in the current meta, so we'll give them a shot on casual circuit, see how it is. If so, we'll put them under Rogue status for now.
I'm just going to point out some ones that are contestable, and we'll explain why. Crusadia, Monarchs, Galaxy Eyes, and Subterra. These, yeah, they haven't been doing too well, but at the same time, they are still very powerful decks and are still considered rogue. Like I walked into a regionals the other day with Monarch and did extremely well. So
Surprisingly.
it's yes. So like they're still powerful. Yes, the format is not great for them, but that doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
that's why those are there.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's all there is to this format at the moment.
yeah, so just going into what the first tournament is. Effectively, we're going to be, since it's a small tournament where we want to test what the rule set is like and see what kind of meta is, it's going to be a very small personal tournament amongst friends at first. And then if you're looking to join it in future, well, one, keep an eye on my Twitter. Two, keep an eye on this channel. And if you want to catch these matches, because I will be streaming them and then, of course, putting them back up on the channel edited, I will be streaming them on my channel at DXD, the DXD Agenda. So I'll put a link to that in the description. But if you're curious in signing up, we have partnered up with the Elysium Discord. So this is a very small Discord, if I can beat them up, a very small Discord just dedicated to pretty much just Yu-Gi-Oh content, but mainly just helping YouTubers, smaller ones like me, get their content out. So we decided to partner up with the Elysium Discord to join their upcoming tournament circuit with there. So if you have any interest in joining us or joining the tournament, feel free to join that Discord. I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can sign up and be aware when those tournaments go up.
Yes, and if you have any other questions or feedback, please leave them in the in the comments below,
Yeah,
and
just,
we will at least have a look at them. We may not respond to them,
I'll
but we'll
probably
have a look
respond
at
to
them.
them. Yeah,
I mean, we won't be able to respond to all of them, but we're at least able to look at all of them.
yeah. But yes, we hope you all will tune in for the first season. It will hopefully be either Monday or Tuesday next week. I'll be probably posting about it on my Twitter when everything gets more finalized, so you know when it's
Yes,
happening.
we're pretty much just waiting for one person's work schedule and then some other things.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're like, it looks like it's going to be finalized for one of those days.
Yeah, so yeah, I hope you all will be tuning in. Me and Ethan will be trying to do commentation. I think I'm terrible at it. I'm not sure about Ethan.
I tried commentating. Uh, I'm okay, I guess.
Okay, good. You're carrying me then. Alright. So,
Oh fuck.
yeah, so I hope you all will be tuning in for this event, and hopefully we'll be in tune for future videos. Because certainly, if we're going to be updating any rules or the ban list, I feel like we're going to be having to make a new update video for that every time, which will be announcing the next circuit.
Yes, I also want to say something is that if this works out the way we want it, I will come up with deck ideas and have deck profiles about them
Hmm.
if this works,
Hmm.
and put that on my channel.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I guess I have to leave a link to Evan's channel in the description as well then.
Yes, you will.
Yes. Now, thank you for tuning in, and goodbye.
Goodbye.